first person born on earth was a murderer. The second person born on earth was a murder victim. How did this happen? Well, it goes to their parents. Their parents killed themselves. By biting the apple, they not only killed themselves, but they gave away the title deed which God put in their hands. How can we get this back? It's all hopeless. But the Lion of the tribe of Judah succeeded, and he can take back the title deed of the earth. But it's going to be rough going. We're all in this family together through the three sons of Noah. We all go back through Seth right to Adam. So we are also children in this. And we're going to sit here, and in Revelation 6, we read that Jesus will start, through his sinless life and giving up his life on the cross. He has the ability to strip the seals and take back the title deed. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. When these seals get stripped, it's just like the sheriff giving notice to somebody that they have a court order to evict them. And they're going to come on a certain day and evict them. And that's the end. But like Satan's going to be cast to earth. He's going to kick out the windows. He's going to do everything. We're going to be in the house. So we have to be prepared. Understanding the Bible is the only way we can be prepared. I think first I'll answer the question of who am I? Why am I talking to you about this? What are my qualifications?
God specified me?
Yes.
Well, frankly, I have none. I'm like you, a regular earth dweller, a son of God, a member of his kingdom. And I grew up in a religious family. And in my late teens, early 20s, I dispatched it all because I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I walked away and I just left it. But I have always believed in God, and I always knew he was watching over me. But one day I said, I'm going back to it, but I'm going to go back to it and understand how to do it. What does it all mean? So what I'm going to do is, I said, I'm going to read the Bible, understand the Bible the best that I could with my limited life experience. So that's what I set out. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I set out to do this. And I said, let me read the Bible and see what I can understand out of it. And I want to do it away from church doctrine. I don't want to be influenced by anything. I even had thoughts of going to seminary just to see, not so much to be a reverend or something, but just to understand it, just see if I can get an understanding of it. And then it dawned on me that that's probably not the best thing. What I'll get is what the churches teach you, their doctrine. I don't want that. I want to know what the truth is. That's my whole goal. So I stayed away from church for the longest time until about 2 years ago. And my wife had said to me, we really need to go to church. We need to be part of a church. So I said, okay. At first I rejected it when she said that. I said, they're just going to teach you the wrong things. The things we're learning now, they're not going to teach you. So I said, okay. All right, we'll go. And when I went back to another church, not the same denomination, I went to another denomination. The denominations I'm not going to tell you because it doesn't matter. They're all the denominations have problems. So here's what I decided to do. When I go back and when I hear things that I know is not biblically sound, I'm just going to take them. I'm going to put them on the floor. I'm going to use my heel and I'm going to slide it under my pew. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to allow things that I can't substantiate in the Bible. Okay, so I read the Bible the first time and I thought to myself, I think I understand about 5% of it, which was very arrogant on my part. I didn't even know enough to know I didn't know 5% of it. Understand 5% of it. So what happens now? I read it again and again and again. It took me about 5 reads to start to pick up on how the Bible's laid out and the way they explain things. And you can't use the Bible. You can't use the Bible like an encyclopedia. The Bible has to be understood in its entirety. So in other words, to understand one concept in the Bible, you need to rely on the entire Bible. And the Bible's done that way on purpose. And after, 5 or 6 years of reading the Bible, and I read the Bible at the rate of about 3 times a year. I want to pass through it as many times so that I can pick up things. So I've read the Bible a number of times, and the things that I learn each time shape the way you think. And the Bible is set up to beguile people. And when I say beguile people, is when you read the Bible, you are meant to be misdirected. Now, why do I say that? Because you have to realize the Bible it's written in parables, and these parables are scattered, and you need different places. So for me, in order to understand a concept in the Bible, I need at least 3 places to verify it. So that's the way I try to understand it. But here's the problem with the Bible. If you read the Bible in pieces, a chunk here, a chunk there, you will get it completely wrong. And it's done that way on purpose. Now here's what I think. I'm thinking that the Bible, if the Bible was meant to be read and understood, then Satan would have understood it, and he would have never killed Jesus. He would have seen the plot. But because it was scattered and you don't really know, the Bible is it tells you the future, but once it's the past, then you can see it very clearly. So if you read like Psalm 22, where Jesus talks about, or David rather, I should say, talks about my tongue cleaving to my cheek. They put nail marks in my hands and feet. They parted my garments. They cast lots for my vestiture. They had no clue what that meant. But after Jesus came and all that stuff happened, then it becomes crystal clear. And that's the way the Bible is. And here's the beauty of that, though. Here's the beauty. I'm gonna expand on that a little bit. Here's the beauty of that. The beauty of that is the fact that if you took the Bible and loaded it into AI, because we're getting that generation, we're getting to that generation that they'll be able to do that. When they load it into AI, they will come up with nothing. They'll come up with garbage, because the Bible is all in parables. And here's the only way that I figured out for myself how to understand the Bible is, if the Bible is written in parables, then you need to do the same thing that the disciples did. The disciples were confused. Everything Jesus was saying was going over them. They didn't get it. They asked them. They said, well, why do you talk to the people in parables? And Jesus said it right there. He said, it's not for them to understand. It's for you to understand. That's the key. So now I apply that to the Bible. So what does that mean? If the Bible's written in parables, and every time they spoke in parables, the disciples would ask them later, hey, what did that mean? And Jesus would explain it. That's what I do, because the Bible is written in parables. So in my daily prayers, what do I ask God? Teach me the parables of the Bible. Let me understand the Bible. And the more that's asked for, the more that is given. Like Jesus says, knock and it'll open to you. And that's what I try to do. I try to knock and see if I can open up the keys to the Bible. And I understand some things. There's stuff that I just don't understand. I just flat out don't get it. So here's what I'm going to do with this video series. I'm going to explain, some of the things that I think of and some of the answers that I come up with. Now, this is all going to be away from church doctrine. So when they tell you that, Jesus died on Friday and got up on Sunday, you can believe that. But if you read Matthew 12:39, it'll say the only sign, when they asked him about a sign, Jesus said, there'll be no sign, except, meaning there is, Matthew 12:39, or in Matthew 12:39, I'm sorry, he said, there'll be no sign except as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So just by that line there, that that he didn't die on Friday. I believe he died on Wednesday and got up on Saturday. It seems to fit to me more. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to keep my videos. Because I call it into Pews with Mike, and when I go to church, I try to be in my pew 20 minutes before service starts, and at least 15. So I'm going to do that with this. I'm going to keep my videos below 15 minutes. In most cases, I think I can do that. And then I don't want to throw a lot of theories and stuff all at once, but and in too long. I don't want you listening for 20 minutes of me repeating myself. So we're going to try to keep them short. We'll see what we can understand, and I'll put together some of the ways that I think that I can understand the Bible a little better. Once you break things down into concepts, then you can start to get it. You can start to really put things together. And I spend, like I said, I read the Bible an hour a day, undistracted. But I think about the Bible more than an hour a day throughout the day. When I'm driving, when I'm doing this, I try to put things together. So a lot of these theories I'm going to come up with, I'm not just going to throw out wild theories. I'm going to only throw out stuff that I've put a lot of thought into, and we'll see where it goes. And maybe, I'm not trying to teach you the Bible. I'm just trying to I'm going to show you another way to think about the Bible is what I'm going to do. And maybe, we can stand on each other's shoulders and talk between us in the pews. What's happening? What are we discovering? Because as time goes on, the more we can understand the Bible, as things pass, we can get it. So Daniel had no clue what he was talking about. If you read Daniel 9, he had no clue. He even said, "What does all this mean?" And it said, it's for a future generation. It's not for you." So that's where we're going to go. Thanks for watching.